Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Wednesday, April 17, 2019. Welcome to another episode of The Drew Yari Show. I am your host, as always, Kevin Castle. I'm playing it. I'm Drew Yari. So yeah, the shakeup happened. Kind of underwhelming in some aspects. I mean, definitely Raw's shakeup was a little underwhelming. I don't know, just the Raw and SmackDown. To say it's underwhelming is kind of an understatement. It's, let's just get into the meat and potatoes of what happened. This kind of been a very slow news week, and my cat is trying to crawl on where I'm trying to do the show. What happened on Raw? Let's look at Raw's rosters on the shakeup. You got what was the first one? The Miz, because I remember Shane McMahon and Stephanie came out to kind of hype it up, and I missed that part. And I know the Miz came out and attacked Shane, and again I missed the part where I just see Shane covered in blood, or not Shane, the Miz. He has blood on the side of his head, so I'm not sure how that happened. I'm assuming Shane, maybe threw him into a guardrail or something, and then Miz got the upper hand. It was interesting that they gave Miz some color. I don't think I've ever seen the Miz ever get any blood on his face. He's always been known as more of a safer worker, which is there's no shame in that. But now he's doing the whole I'm a brawler type gimmick, which I'm down for. This is the Miz that we need to see. What happened next after that? Ricochet and Aleister Black came out, and now they're officially part of the Raw roster. I can't talk. I'm talking like Scooby-Doo. Ricochet and Aleister Black are now officially part of the Raw roster. Which, I mean, I don't know, wasn't that surprising? Because they come out and you just hear Michael Cole, are they now a part of Raw? And then you just see like the font on the bottom, showing their name that they're, Raw, superstar. I mean, which I guess is good. I would have preferred that they were on SmackDown. Would have been more interesting to see them on SmackDown. But hey, can't always get what we want. Probably the biggest news that came out was you got the War Raiders that came out, and they decided to change their name to the Viking Experience. The Viking Experience. They took a very cool as fuck tag team that always has really cool as fuck entrances at TakeOver, and and they can actually work. They're big dudes that can actually work. They can go around and move, and not just like stand around like statues and just hit people. No, they can actually move like cruiserweights. You decided to call them the Viking Experience. Now the talk coming out is that supposedly the reason why they're called the Viking Experience because Vince demanded it was because he thought the term war was too, I guess was too adult or wasn't kid friendly, and the Viking Experience is the best name they can come up with apparently. Who in the back decided, let's take these big two jacked Game of Thrones Viking looking motherfuckers. We gotta give him a very cool name. We gotta give him a cool name that's kid-friendly. It's like, why don't we just call them Vikings? Or the Vikings? It's like, it needs something. It needs a little pizzazz. I know. Let's add experience to it. Now you're speaking my language, John. I don't know what their real names are. But, yeah, the Viking Experience, because it's kid-friendly. I just think of, Helen Lovejoy. Think about the children. Which, that kind of begs a question I have to ask. How how exactly do they think kids are nowadays? Like, because do they just assume that kids just watch nothing but kid-friendly shows? Like, are they putting out this content for actual kids, like preteens and then up to like 15, 16 years old, or are they trying to sell to babies? Do they assume babies watch the wrestling program, or do they assume Mormons watch the wrestling program? That's not a shot at Mormons. Or homeschool kids. I don't know, but what kids do they think actually watch their show? Because I know when I was watching Raw, the term war didn't trigger me. When you see guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, or The Undertaker, or Badass filling in. Because I remember in the video games, they couldn't call him Badass. They had to call him B.A. Billy Gunn. Or even on the toys, they would call him B.A. Billy Gunn. And that would... Yeah, that makes sense, because you can't put ass on a toy or in a video game, which nowadays you can. Nowadays you have video games where they're saying fuck and bitch and, slut or whatever. And they're all this, like, really grotesque violence, which I love it. But nowadays you can't say the word war. If that's the case, they should just edit all their old Raw shows, and instead of Raw is War, just call it Raw is Raw. Or Raw is The Experience. The Experience of Raw. So, and I remember, this morning I was just listening to the new Frank and Gus show by Mitch and Joey, and supposedly there is actually a travel package called the Viking Experience. Now, I don't have any way to like look for it and like put it on the show, but that's pretty much apparently where it came from. Like I don't know if they got it from that, but there's already something else out there called the Viking Experience. It's not wrestling related, which I'm hoping WWE knows about this, so that way they can change it back to the War Raiders. Like please, whoever this Viking Experience travel package is, like, please sue WWE so they can just change it back to the War Raiders or War Machine, or War Machine. I don't know because that's a Marvel thing. With War Machine, I don't know if they want to mess with Marvel or DC right now. But, yeah, this team's already buried from the get-go with that name. Who else is on Raw? The Usos, which that's interesting. You want to give them a new start? No! My cat is trying to mess with my hands. The Usos are already done with SmackDown. They pretty much did everything they needed to do, so put him on Raw would, I guess, give him a fresh new start. And I'm interested to see what they do with that, since instead of the Uso Penitentiary, call it the Uso Experience. Like that's what you want to call it now, because penitentiaries, you don't want kids knowing about prison. Prison is not family friendly. You call it the Uso Experience. See, there you go. That should work for WWE. The Usos, Naomi came out, which. Golf clap, not even a golf clap. Eric Young came out, which from what I read, the other two guys in Sanity are put in their releases for WWE, which makes sense because Sanity was a cool thing in NXT, and then they put them on the main roster, and they were only on TV for like a total of 20 minutes, which I don't know. That's just one thing that irks me about what they do with NXT, is that you have these really cool acts. You have these really, top tier teams. Like, you look at the War Raiders. That's a team they could have done so much with. That is a cool as fuck tag team. They bring them onto the main roster, call them the Viking Experience. And then you got Sanity, which, again, I wasn't the biggest fan of Sanity, but I acknowledge that they were a cool team. That they were, playing after The Purge. And The Purge is a show on USA. And WWE and Raw is on USA. You would think they have this tag team that's kind of affiliated with a show that their network already does. They would want to push them a little bit stronger. I'm not saying push them to the main event scene, but push them as far as they can go. Like, make them popular, make people want to see them and go, that's pretty freaking cool. Instead, they do absolutely nothing. They do nothing with them. At the end of the day, it's always the case of, creative has nothing for you, which is a shame. I mean, you look at NXT, you look at the talent there, and you just think, I hope to God these guys stay here for as long as they can. Like, I remember Triple H, I think he said something along the lines of, there's a lot of guys at NXT that might just stay there, which I'm fine with. Keep Johnny Gargano in NXT. Keep him there. Let him be like the king of NXT. Let him, be the guy of NXT. Let him retire in NXT. Let him be the general manager of NXT. Let him run NXT. Let him take Triple H's job in NXT. Which I'm fine with. You put him on the main roster, what are you going to do? You're going to have him be on 205 Live, wrestling Tony Nese and Oni Lorcan on a show that nobody watches. And if you put him on the main roster, you're going to have him job to fucking Baron Corbin, which for some reason they love him. I will never understand why they love Baron Corbin so much. I can't wrap my mind around it. Who is he blowing in the back? That's what I want to know. Who is he blowing? Who does he have nude pictures of? Who does he have pictures of somebody in a compromising position? That's what I want. I'm getting way too deep into this. Then you got EC3, who's officially on the Raw roster, and then you had him job to Braun for no apparent reason. And I love Braun, but he's another guy that they're treating like shit. He's a guy that he should be given a lot more than he's already given now. Like, he's a dude that you look at and you go, that's a very old school looking, 1980s, 1970s, wrestler from the territory days. If this were the 80s, Braun would be, the top guy. Braun would be, on Hulk Hogan level status. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because maybe he said the wrong thing to somebody. Maybe he pissed off Vince. Maybe he pissed off Triple H or whomever. And they're just giving him shit. Like, this is a guy that should have been the champion a very long time ago. I think Kevin Castle alluded to that. Apparently, there were reports that he's very fatigued when he gets to the back. That he's not a guy that can go out there and give you a 30-minute barn burner, which he doesn't need to do that. He can just be a guy that goes out there and gives you maybe a 10, 12-minute match. Braun does not need to be AJ Styles. AJ Styles needs to be AJ Styles. AJ Styles needs to be the guy that goes out there and gives you a 20, 30-minute match. Daniel Bryan needs to be that guy. Kofi needs to be that guy. Braun needs to be the guy that goes out there and beats the shit out of you. It's kind of wrestling, one-on-one, where back in the day, the Cruiserweight title was, the workhorse title. The Cruiserweight title was a match where, guys would go out there and wrestle for 30, 35 minutes. And, the world champion was in the main event, and it would be a 10, 12, 15-minute match, which was fine. The champion is a champion. The champion needs to do his own thing. The mid-level guys are the ones that go out there and steal the show and bring the crowd in. So, I'm hoping Braun will get, better treatment, because Braun is built like a brick shithouse. He is fucking cut to the fucking core. Not to say he was fat before, but he was just always a very big guy. And he was a meaty guy. He was thick. I'll just put it that way. He was a thick guy. Now he's cut to the core. He has fucking... not even a 6-pack, an 8-pack. He has muscles on top of muscles. Which, I don't know, it looks like they're putting him in a feud with Joe. Because, not to skip ahead, but supposedly Joe was supposed to appear on Raw. And the talk was that he was sick and he couldn't appear. Which, kind of explains, why Braun appeared on SmackDown also to feud with Braun, which I'm actually down for a Braun versus Joe feud. You got two guys who are ass kickers. You got two guys who actually act like ass kickers, who don't run away from fights. It's an interesting feud. The size difference, Braun's a lot taller. But, I'd be interested to see a feud like that. Two guys who can just go out there and beat the shit out of each other. Obviously, it looks like they want to put a title on Braun to see how it would work. give him the U.S. title, which again the U.S. title was kind of meaningless. But I don't know. I guess they want to put a title on Braun to see how it works. You know what I mean? Because he should be the world champion. As much as I love Seth Rollins, you see Seth. All right, try showing wrestling to someone who's barely watched it, who hasn't watched it since they were a kid. Put Seth Rollins in one match. You show a match with Seth Rollins, and they show a match with Braun. They see Braun, and they go, that guy's fucking huge. He's a brick shithouse. Yeah, he's got to be the champion. It's like, nope, it was Seth Rollins. Wait, what? You mean the really in shape, skinny guy who, does CrossFit or whatever, who does CrossFit and he looks like Jesus? Like, yep, he's the champ. Huh. I mean, and again, it's not a knock on Seth, but it's just, the filth. WWE likes to placate to the filthy casuals. They like to placate to the filthy casuals at the same time placate to the marks. And I love Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is the top babyface in Raw. There's no doubt in that. But, at the end of the day, it's all about the airport test. You see Seth Rollins in the airport, he just looks like a really in-shape guy. Like a guy who's in very good shape. You see Braun, and you automatically assume, that guy's got to be somebody. He's got to be a wrestler, or he's a bodybuilder, or he's something. He's a stuntman in Hollywood. He's got to be something. So I hope they do something with Braun. I hope they finally decide to say, fuck it, let's make him our top guy. Because Brock ain't shit anymore. Brock's still gonna bring in money. He's still a guy that draws. He's an attraction. But please, 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 just keep the title off of Brock. Do not give Brock a title anymore. Just make Brock an attraction. Make Brock a guy that goes in there and just puts people over and does something. But just let Braun be the guy. Let Braun be, the new, giant in the company. Because there's no Big Show, there's no Mark Henry. Supposedly, Undertaker signed a new contract with the company, which I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's coming back part-time and wrestling more, because he looked good last week, because he was able to give that big boot. And in the past, that leg would barely have came up. But that leg came all the way up like it was 2008. So, I mean, it's good to see Undertaker in good shape. It's good to see him not, get fatigued. But to be honest, I'd be happy if I didn't have to see Undertaker wrestle over again. I think Taker should have retired after Brock beat him. I mean, that's just the honest truth. They just need to make the company more for the younger talent, in my opinion. If you want to have Taker do appearances, I'd be down for that. Have him be an ambassador. Have him make appearances at big shows, like, that big anniversary show or Mania or Access or, sign autographs. I'd be down with that. But him wrestling, no. I don't want to see that at all. Who else appeared? I was talking about EC3. Yeah, they've done nothing with EC3. I don't get why it seems like they're punishing him, and I don't know why. Because if, and I kind of barely remember him. He was Derek Bateman in NXT. This is before NXT became NXT. This is when NXT was like a variety show. It was supposed to be their new Tough Enough. And Daniel Bryan was his mentor. And he apparently had an attitude problem, and that's why he got released. And then he went over to TNA when it was kind of a floundering company, and made a name for himself. Had a better gimmick, got in better shape. He proved that he can talk and he can work. And you look at him and you go, that's a guy that I think WWE would really love. He has the look they want. He can talk. He's a decent worker. No. I do not want an update. Microsoft. Okay. Windows with their updates, I swear. And he comes to NXT. He didn't light the world on fire in NXT, but he was okay in NXT. They decided to hotshot him on the main roster for whatever reason, since they obviously proved they had nothing for him in NXT. And they've done absolutely nothing with him. The minute that they put him on the main roster, they did nothing with him. Like, they pretty much just have it in backstage segments. And then his first match on Raw, Braun just beats the shit out of him. Which, again, you're not expecting EC3 to go out there and beat Braun, but what are they doing with EC3 exactly? I don't know. I don't know if they're punishing him or if they were told to bury him automatically. I don't know. But, if you clearly know you have nothing for this guy, release him. Like, cut his losses. Lacey Evans officially is on Raw. Whoop-de-doo. Or as I call her, Phoenix Marie. Again, if anyone knows who that is, kudos to you. But, yeah, it looks like she's going to be Becky's first opponent for the Raw Women's Championship. Because the way they're pushing it is that Becky is not just a unified Women's Champion, she's both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. And she has to defend both titles. So, you put her in a pay-per-view, she's going to have one match where she's defending the Raw Women's Championship, and then another match where she's defending the SmackDown Women's Championship. I'm just saying that's the way it looks. Because on SmackDown, she had a promo where she was talking to Bayley for some reason. Bayley's on SmackDown, and the Montreal crowd did not really give two fucks with Bayley. They booed her, to which Bayley was actually upset about. We'll get to Bayley in a bit. Yeah, Lacey Evans, and she had a match against Natalya, which I guess she did okay in. But why are they hot-shotting this? Again, I'm using another term. Why are they hot-shotting this girl on the main roster and giving her a title shot against possibly the most popular, woman in the company? I don't know. WWE's they were trying to do the whole, we actually want women to be more competitive. We want women to be good athletes. But they clearly have an erection for, tall, blonde, big titty girls. You look at Charlotte. Granted, Charlotte can back it up in the ring. But then you look at this, this broad Lacey Evans, which, she looks good. I'm not gonna lie. But, she wrestled in the Mae Young tournament? And who watched that? The casual fans sure as shit didn't watch it. That's kind of the way the company is that they expect everybody to watch everything they put on the network. It's like when they shove, the NXT guys on the show without, proper introduction. They just go, okay, well, they're on NXT, so you should know who they are. The company needs to take the lesson that not everybody watches NXT. And sure as hell not everybody watches the Mae Young Classic. I didn't. So I have no idea who this broad is. And the fact that she has this weird gimmick that she's supposed to be a Southern Belle, and that her... why does the company put out gimmicks that are clearly from, like, the 1950s? Like, for example, Deuce and Domino. You have these two greasers with this, with this girl named Cherry that, wore skates. It's like, these guys look like they're supposed to be working at Sonic. Bringing me my, my Route 44 sweet tea with my cheeseburger. They should not be in a wrestling. And Lacey Evans looks like somebody that, I don't know, that's, living in the South, that's told to be a proper and prim, lady, not lose her temper, and she possibly owns slaves. I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws here. But again, I don't know. I don't know why they do these certain things with superstars. Like it's like going back to old school things. Like if you're gonna bring somebody up from developmental, advertise them first, so the audience can see him and go, huh. I'm going to go to YouTube and see what this person's all about. Like with Ricochet and Aleister Black, you bring him up. Granted, now the crowd knows him a little bit better, but you should have advertised them a lot better instead of just saying, "Hey, these guys are going to be on Raw for a bit." Okay, am I supposed to know who these people are? Well, they're on NXT. They had great matches. I don't watch NXT. I'm sorry. I don't even have the network. Again, not everybody has the network. But again, just do the old school thing and just advertise them, like saying, Lacey Evans is coming to Raw. So that way you can have the audience look them up on YouTube. Because again, we live in the era where kids now have smartphones. They can go on YouTube with ease and just look up these people. Look up their matches, look up their past matches, look them up on the internet to see who they are and see if they are interested in them or not. Who else? Rey Mysterio's on Raw, and then you got I think, who did he wrestle against? Again, I kind of tuned out of Raw. But I think he wrestled against Baron Corbin. I think he won, and then Lars came out. I think Lars is officially a SmackDown guy. I'm not sure. Who else? Andrade and Zelina Vega came out. They're officially Raw people, and they wrestled Finn. I didn't get to watch the match. I heard it was a really good match, by the way. So I got to look that match up. And we already talked about the Miz. AJ Styles being the bigger acquisition. I can't talk today. The bigger acquisition came out as the third man with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns against the team of the three biggest piles of meh. That's Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. So AJ's not a Raw guy. The house that AJ Styles built is now up for sale. That was a dad joke, by the way. I'm sorry. So yeah, AJ's a Raw guy, which you kind of saw coming. AJ really had nothing else going on SmackDown. I mean, it would have been nice to keep AJ on SmackDown, kind of like with Undertaker. Undertaker was on SmackDown for pretty much the duration of his career until they dissolved the whole brand split. But he was always a SmackDown guy. He was known as the heart and soul of SmackDown. So AJ and Raw. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, because now you have the possibility of Seth versus AJ at maybe a SummerSlam or possibly WrestleMania. AJ. Here's how I view that feud. Keep those two apart. Like you don't want them mingling too much because that's a WrestleMania match. That's the main event of WrestleMania right there. You want to give Seth a longer title run, and so that way you can set up AJ versus Seth for the title in next year's WrestleMania because they're going to be in Tampa Bay, and Florida is AJ Styles, pretty much an AJ Styles country. I know I called it a country. I was being ironic, because AJ wrestled in Florida, TNA. So I mean, again, how you have it, AJ, not AJ, Seth keeps the title for over a year until Mania. AJ wins the Rumble. Have that be your WrestleMania main event. And actually make it fucking good. Make it a good feud. You don't need to make anyone a heel. I mean, you can make AJ a heel. Because AJ can play the heel. But you don't need to make anyone a heel. Like, have it just be like a almost like a Brett and a Shawn type thing, where they respect each other as performers, as wrestlers. But at the end of the day, they're not going to give respect to each other until after the match. You know what I mean? Like, have them go out there and just say, I'm better. I've been doing this for the longest time. And then Seth can be like, well, I've admired you, AJ. I've always been a fan of yours. I respect you. But I think I've taken the mantle of being the guy, of being phenomenal, of being, the best wrestler in the company. Not just in the company, but in the whole world. Like, that, that's money right there. Like, that is your WrestleMania main event. We're, seeing what they want to do. I don't know what their main event is next year. But it needs to be AJ versus Seth. At the end of the day, that is your main event. It's written in the stars, pretty much. All right, so that's Raw. Let's go over to Smack It Down. If this fucking internet wants to start working. Come on. All right. SmackDown. I watched a little bit of SmackDown, but again, I fell off like after an hour maybe because I was watching the Spurs game, which that disappointed me too. But yeah, it kicked off with the Kevin Owens show, and Kevin Owens got a big reaction there in Montreal. New Day came out minus minus Biggie. Biggie apparently, I believe it was a torn meniscus, if I'm not mistaken. He'll be out for about maybe a year and a half. And Kevin Owens decided to replace Biggie or make himself like an honorary member of the New Day, and decided he wanted to call himself Big K, and he said, no, I got it, Big O. Which apparently there's a wrestler out in New York that has that name already. He's not very happy about it. But, so Kevin Owens is now an honorary member of the New Day. He got knighted with a unicorn. Horn. And his initiation was he had to finish an entire, plate of pancakes, beating Big E's record, which was 5.5 minutes. And he got less than that, and he, passed the initiation. When I saw that, I was thinking, I just automatically assume, they're going to make Kevin Owens a heel. They're going to have him turn on the New Day, and that's going to be, Kofi's, big, first championship feud against Kofi, which it didn't happen. What I thought was interesting was they showed Big E in a hospital bed, reacting to it, just going, what the fuck. I mean, he didn't actually say that. He just kind of had this look on his face like, what the fuck? I'm interested to see what they do with that. I'm interested to see how they, when Big E comes back, how they interpret that. Is that a way to turn Big E heel? He comes back and goes, oh, you guys replaced me? I was only gone for a month and a half, and you guys replaced me. That's messed up. I poured my blood, sweat, and tears into this group for 4 years, and this is how I get repaid. You replace me with and I know they're not going to go here, but they could say with this white boy. I know they won't go there, but that'd be funny if they did. But they might just do the opposite and just have replace make KO the heel. Have Big E come back, and then KO could be like, oh, so I'm being booted out of the New Day. My services are no longer required. They can do some of that, but the money's in Big E being a heel. Because we've seen Kev as a heel. We've seen Kevin Owens as a heel. We've seen that a billion times. It's interesting to see Kevin Owens as a heel because I think he works as a heel because he can play off the fact that he's a family man, he's a dad, he's also kind of a goofball, but at the same time he's a badass. When ready to fight, he will fight. So I'm interested to see KO as a heel. Sami Zayn as a heel, I'm not sure because what he's doing is kind of like CM Punk level, I guess, heelness, if that's a word. He's just coming out and just being a disgruntled employee and saying that the crowd sucks and that they can all go to hell. So I don't know where that Sami Zayn heel run is going to go. Again, when it first happened, it just kind of caught me off guard because he was already healed before he got hurt. But he was with KO. And then he gets brought onto the main roster. And then he just makes that weird heel promo, just trashing the crowd, trashing the company. So I don't know where it's going to go. Anyways, after that segment was done, Finn Balor came out. Finn Balor is now a part of SmackDown, which, again, I think a lot of people called. Because, Finn was kind of done on Raw. There wasn't really much for him to do, and they weren't really giving him much to do. So putting him on SmackDown is kind of a fresh start. I'm interested to see where it goes. Him and Kofi, I think, could be the main event of SummerSlam. Just an opinion. So, anyways, he had a match with Mustafa Ali. Again, a very good match between two guys we haven't seen wrestle before. I'm pretty sure they wrestled before, just not in WWE. But they went out there and had a very good match. Who else appeared on SmackDown? Well, I'm looking at it right now. Carmella came out and wrestled Charlotte. Charlotte wins, and then Lars Sullivan comes out and beats the shit out of R-Truth. So now Lars is officially part of SmackDown, I guess. Again, I'm not impressed by Lars because I look at him and I see what they're doing to Braun. They're going to take a guy that looks like a genuine badass. That looks like he can just, rape and pillage a village. And then they're going to probably have him feud with Kevin Hart next year at WrestleMania. So I don't know what they're going to do with Braun. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to be one of those guys, those goofy podcasters, that try to say, oh, he looks like Snitsky. Like, no, that's not where I'm really trying to go. I'm just saying, I see him, and I see what they're doing to Braun. So I'm just being cautious. I would like for them to do some of them because again, he looks like a guy that if he were in the '80s, he would have been a top guy. He would have been the top guy. He would have been, the scary looking motherfucker that kids would hide behind their parents when they saw him, enter the ring. So I don't know what they're going to do with him. I hope they do good things with him, but again, I don't. With their track record, I'm not sure. Yeah, Moon came out. That was good. Be interesting to see what she does on SmackDown. Again, we talked about Bayley. Bayley apparently had a big, bitch fit about it in the back that she was being booed by the Montreal crowd, and she put it on Twitter. Thanks Montreal crowd. And in the back, she was actually pretty mad about it, to where someone actually had to take her to the back and calm her down. You can clearly hear her yelling that she was being booed. And if that's the case, make Bayley heel. Like, that first kind of heel run that she had when she attacked Sasha, where she was like a heel for like 5 minutes, and then they decided to put them in therapy and make them lesbians, but not lesbians. Oh shit! I decided to play with my cat, and now she's not stopping. But she's biting my hand. Hey, you started it. But I don't know. I hope they change Bayley's character, because the whole Butters from South Park character isn't working. They need to make her a heel. They need to get rid of the wacky inflatable waving tube men. They need to have her just come and be like, screw hugs. I'm done hugging you. Hugging you, stupid people. I'm not good at creative. They should just have her just come out. I'm tired of hugging you ugly people and your stupid ugly children. Now they won't go there, but it'd be pretty awesome if they did. Just have her go out there and just trash kids. Be like, I was a role model to your kids. Well, I'm done being a role model for kids. For now on, it's all about me. As far as I'm concerned, you can go hug. Okay, now, if she says go hug yourself, that would probably be lame. But at the same time, I think it'd be kind of cringeworthy and funny in its own way, because obviously they're not going to let her say fuck. Because in ECW, they would have let him say fuck. In this, current era of WWE, even though Fox wants them to be more edgy, they're not going to let him say fuck. It'd be cool if they did, and they just bleeped it out, because, Fox would probably bleep it out. But I doubt it would happen. But I don't know why I'm getting so excited about something that probably won't ever happen. Who else is on the show? Kari Zane is on the show, and they decided to team up with Asuka and have Paige be the manager for whatever reason. Buddy Murphy from 205 Live is on the show, which I'm interested to see what they do with him. He's a big motherfucker. And he works like a cruiserweight, and for some reason they put him on 205 Live. Which, I don't know his actual size, but I doubt he's 205. Mickie James is on SmackDown. Good for her. Liv Morgan is on SmackDown, so that means the Riot Squad is officially no more. I know Sarah Logan and Ruby Riot, put on their social media, pretty much, that, it was kind of an end of an era. They were together for, I think, like 2 years, like a year and a half. These guys were, like, genuinely friends. They weren't just, hanging out together because they had to. They were genuinely friends. So it kind of sucks to see them be pulled apart. I don't know what they want to do with Liv. Liv was better suited for that group. Granted, I haven't really watched Liv as a singles star. I don't really remember her as a singles competitor in NXT. But I don't know what they're going to do with her. More than likely, they're going to push her to the moon. I mean, granted, I'd rather see her in a push than Carmella, because it kind of seems that's where they're going with Carmella. They want to re-push her again for whatever reason. Chad Gable is on SmackDown, so that means Bobby Roode's a singles competitor again, which he kind of needs to be, because they were kind of making him heels, so Bobby Roode kind of needs to be a heel singles guy. I mean, he has the chops for it. He has the charisma. I mean, he's a kind of an average worker. Again, he's one of those guys that if you put him back in the 80s, he would have been a top guy in some territory. But, I don't know, Bobby Roode as a singles guy, we'll see how that goes. Chad Gable, I like Chad Gable. I like his work. He's almost kind of like a mini Kurt Angle. I mean, Kurt Angle's kind of a small guy in general, but Chad Gable was almost kind of like a Kurt Angle in some aspects. Apollo Crews, which at this point I would say release them since they don't know what to do with him. They obviously don't know what to do with Apollo Crews. They haven't known what to do with him for 3 years. He was a promising young talent in NXT. They bring him onto the main roster, and it looks like they're going to do something with him. And then they just do absolutely nothing. They just make him the smiley, happy guy who does flips. And then we get to the meat and potatoes, the final, two new SmackDown guys. And so, man promises, the biggest acquisition in SmackDown history. And then he brings out Elias. And then Roman Reigns comes out and attacks both. So now Roman Reigns is a SmackDown guy, which I kind of saw coming because when you looked at Raw's roster when they brought in AJ, you were thinking it's a very heavy-looking roster. They're going to have to get rid of somebody and put them on SmackDown. So we already knew Finn was long for SmackDown. And then supposedly, Joe, again, was supposed to appear on Raw, but he was sick and he couldn't appear. So I think they're going to make him appear next week. I was like, they'll make up something for him. I mean, I was more interested to see Joe stay on SmackDown and have them unify, the Intercontinental U.S. titles. So, I don't know, but he's probably going to appear on Raw next week. Yeah, Roman Reigns on SmackDown, it makes sense because they're not going to do anything with Seth. Now that Dean's gone, you don't want that hovering influence of Roman. They don't want to make Seth look like Roman's bitch because the Shield's already done, and they're not going to replace Dean. So they want to keep Seth where he is, and they want to give Roman a fresh new start. So you put him on SmackDown, and I'm just assuming, just by the way it looks, it's going to be Roman and Elias, for the better part of the summer, which I'm interested in because I don't think we've ever seen Roman versus Elias. Maybe on Raw. I don't think there was ever really a feud with Elias and Roman because when you look at them, they look very similar in size. Elias is a very jacked, he's a big, jacked-looking motherfucker. And, Roman, is, again, a big-looking dude. He's obviously lost a lot of weight because of his leukemia. Which he came out recently and said that he's going to be on cancer treatment for the rest of his life. Poor guy. Like I said on Peter's show, shout out to Peter, the Peter position. Still love that name. They should not have brought him back so quickly. I don't know why they decided to bring him back so quickly. They obviously need more Superman punches in, but so it looks like Roman versus Elias is one of the first big feuds on SmackDown. Hey, good for them. And then you got Money in the Bank coming up, which is the next pay-per-view event after Mania on May 19th. So that's how you're going to, I guess, kind of kickstart that feud. Because I don't know what the next pay-per-view event's going to be after Money in the Bank. But anyways, that's the Superstar shakeup. I had a question from somebody on Twitter. And you guys are always more than welcome to leave me questions. Make sure you leave them on my Twitter, Drew Show at Twitter. Question from Nora. Salutations, Mr. Drew Yari. My question is about this week's shakeup. What are your thoughts on the results and what changes, and if any, what would you have made? I kind of gave my thoughts on it. I would have preferred you keep Joe on SmackDown just so you can have that, Joe versus Finn feud and unify both titles. So that way you can just have one, mid-card championship. But that's probably going to happen. That's probably not going to happen. If I had to guess when that was going to happen, that'll probably happen at maybe Night of Champions or Survivor Series. That's just a guess. Because Survivor Series like to have their champion versus champion match. And by then, the Fox deal is going to happen. And usually, Night of Champions is like in fall. And that's when the Fox deal is going to happen with SmackDown. I mean, so far, I don't know. I guess it's a combination of the only thing I had a problem with was the Viking Experience. Other than that, everything seems, I guess, where it's supposed to be. I'm kind of sad that the Riot Squad is not together anymore. I mean, it would have been interesting if you moved the Riot Squad, but I don't know. When you look at it, Liv Morgan is a lot more passable in the ring than Sarah Logan, because Sarah Logan's not that great in the ring. But I don't know. That's it for the wrestling talk. Again, kind of a slow news week as far as wrestling and movies are concerned. I was going to try and make this a short show. This just came up on my radar. This literally just came up before I started the show. Apparently, John Cena is in talks to be in Suicide Squad. And if my internet will let me fucking hold my damn mouse, hold the damn cursor down. Alright, good. Come on. Come on. This fucking internet sucks ass. Yeah, this internet has decided it will not let me look at the other thing. It just says, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Come on. A John Cena eyed for Suicide Squad sequel from Variety.com. And that's really it. I mean, who could he play? I don't know who we can honestly play with this, but I mean, it's interesting. John Cena joined the DC universe because you got The Rock in DC. I mean, Batista's in Marvel, and now you possibly have both Cena and The Rock in DC. Ain't good fun. They announced last week the 7 original Marvel shows that are coming to DC streaming service. I'm looking on the Insider.com. 3 of the live-action shows will follow the adventures of Loki, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Falcon, and Bucky Barnes. 2 more additions will be documentary series. Among the dozens of new shows and movies that will be available on the service are 6 live-action and animated series from Marvel Studios. It will launch November 12th, and it will apparently be $6.99 a month. Which, that's not bad. But you know damn well it's going to fucking raise. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige says the studios will take place in the MCU and will have ramifications that will be felt on the Disney Plus shows and future movies. I'm reading right here. In its first year, it will have over 25 new shows and more than 10 new movies and specials on the platform. That, in addition, and over the 400 movies up beyond Disney Plus after its initial year of launch. Okay. Falcon and Winter Soldier. One will be available on Disney Plus, year 1 of the streaming service. Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan will return to play Sam Wilson, Falcon, and Bucky Barnes and Winter Soldier. According to Feige, the 2 characters will be forced to team up. While audiences have seen them as part of the Avengers with Disney Plus, we now get the chance to take a deeper dive and learn much more about these heroes. Feige described the animated series Marvel What If as a dream project. The first one that they announced was our first episode asked the question what if Peggy Carter was the one to become the super soldier, and what if Steve Rogers had played a scrawny young kid but joined the fight with an armored suit built by Howard Stark. It will be animated, so Feige said new and returning cast members will lend their voices to their animated counterparts. Which is interesting to do a what if series. That'd be interesting. It'd be a lot interesting to see him do a live action one, but I guess you need I guess they can only have more. They can only have so much of a budget. That's what I'm trying to say. WandaVision will be a live action series that will feature Scarlet Witch and Vision. Not until year 2 of the streaming service, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany will reprise their roles as Wanda Maximoff and Vision. This story is definitely something unexpected and surprising, as well as something we can only do in a long-form series, said Feige. What it could mean in Infinity War, we know Wanda and Vision were on romantic relationship that went south after Thanos ripped his Mind Stone from the android's head and Wanda vanished into the devastating snap at the Vision's end. In the comics, Wanda and Vision have 2 children, twin boys. The interesting part here is that their superpowered sons, Wiccan and Speed, become members of a superhero group named the Young Avengers, which may be the Disney Plus's Endgame for another streaming series or original movies. I'm interested. Loki, we already know Tom Hiddleston's returning. Obviously, we have some questions. How this doesn't work. Thanos made it very clear Loki was going to come back via resurrection this time. However, if the Avengers wind up traveling back in time to undo the events of Infinity War, it's likely we'll see Loki again. On the downside, it's most likely will be a version of Loki that hasn't gone through the character growth we were able to see throughout the MCU story movies. This mischievous Loki, when encountering the Avengers, is probably going to be back. Interesting. Marvel's Hero Project will be one of 2 documentary series to be on the streaming service. According to a release from Disney, Marvel's Hero Project will celebrate the changes several young people are making in their communities. The series is produced by Marvel New Media and Maggie Vision Productions. A documentary series called Marvel's 616 will take a look behind the scenes. It will be available year 1. According to a release from Disney, the anthology documentary will look at the creators and the characters of the Marvel Universe. Feige hinted we'll see some of the 10 years of behind-the-scenes footage from the MCU in these documentaries during the investor presentation. I'm interested in that, by the way. I would love to see some. I love behind-the-scenes footage. I love anything where you can kind of take a look behind the curtain. I'm always interested in that. Variety reported additional Hawkeye shows and works at Disney Plus. With Jeremy Renner returning, will feature he'll be passing the mantle of the superhero to his daughter Kate Bishop. A trailer for Avengers Endgame has already teased Hawkeye training his daughter on being an expert marksman. The show wasn't confirmed by Disney during its streaming service presentation. And if you're looking for a place to stream some Marvel movies, a dozen of them will be available in the first year on Disney Plus, including Avengers Endgame. Captain Marvel will be available to stream when Disney Plus launches. The service will also be exclusive streaming home to Avengers Endgame. There's also rumors that they were going to do an Incredible Hulk with Mark Ruffalo, which is more going to be like a She-Hulk show, and then they're going to do a War Machine show with Don Cheadle, which I'd be interested in that. I'd be interested in a She-Hulk show. See how they can work with that. That's pretty much it. I mean, I'm hyped about Disney Plus. I'm hyped about these shows. Again, apparently they're going to do a Stan Lee documentary too about his cameos in the movies. Which again, you're definitely going to need to bring your tissues for that. November 12th. I might even just cancel Netflix just to keep Disney. Netflix kind of did the wrong thing by getting rid of the Marvel shows. I mean, I think it was kind of out of their hands because it's a combination of Netflix and Marvel. That's why they had to get rid of the shows, but you still cancel my Marvel shows too. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as news goes. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Shout outs. Shout out to the Wrestling Suit. You can hear him every Thursday on Mixlr at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 9:30 Eastern. Also head over to the Patreon, just $5. You can get all types of goodies, like episodes of Wrestling Soup's past, present, not their future, by the way, which that'd be pretty cool. But you can listen to the very first episode of Soup. You can also get new and original content like Lolo Bobby and John Joy, who I believe he's putting on an episode tonight. And then Don Tony and Kevin Castle show. Their episodes are always right after Raw on Mondays, usually 10:15 p.m. Central Time, 11:15 Eastern. And go to their Patreon for just $5. Again, new and original content. You can get Breakfast Soup with DT and Mish. you can get Kevin Castle's 2 shows, which is Castle Chronicles, which is just his solo show, and then Dark Chronicles with him and Trez. Trez is a very good friend of the show. Shout out to her. She got engaged 2 weeks ago. I'm saying it again. Congratulations to Trez for getting engaged. Julian from the Wrestling Court. Send out your wishes to Julian. His dog passed away just recently, and that's it sucks losing a pet. You know, we've lost pets in the past, and now it sucks because they're kind of like your kids in a way. Because me and my girl, we're not kid people. We think of our pets as almost like our kids. So losing a pet always sucks. So shout out to Julian. Hope everything's good now. Texas Podcast Massacre, they just had their 100th episode. And it, ironically, is about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've been on that show twice. Those episodes are already up. I was on the most recent episode. Not the 100th one, but the one before that, about Frailty. That was a lot of fun. Listen to those dudes. They're good dudes. Yeah, I'm being biased because they're from Texas. I support my Texas guys, but they're generally good dudes. Listen to them. Give the show some love. Architect Podcast with Derek and Irving. I believe I'm not sure if they have a new episode out. I'm not. I know I subscribe to them on Google Play, so I'm not sure if they have a new one out. I need to check. But they go more deeper than me when it comes to the nerd talk. About conventions. They go a little more deeper than me. They're a very good show. Listen to them. And you got the Peter Position, which I just did last week with Peter. We talked about wrestling. He's a wrestling fan. He's not really a fan of the Marvel movies or the TV shows that I watch. He's more so. I mean, he likes wrestling, but at the same time, he talks more about music and kind of more political views. He also has another podcast out with a friend of his called Bops and Bangers, where they just specifically talk about music. That's already up on iTunes, so give his show a look, a listen, or I might add. If you're a fan of music, you might like that show. If you're a fan of politics, if you're a fan of real-world issues, you might like the Peter Position, which you can find on Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere else the podcast may be found. I might be missing someone else. If I'm missing someone else, I'm sorry. Thank you to anyone who shows love to the show, shows love to me, appreciates me, likes my tweets, retweets anytime I post a new episode. I'll be back next Wednesday as usual. Yeah, that's really about it. Next week, and also Avengers. I mean, it's kind of a nothing thing. Yeah, Avengers Endgame. Apparently somebody, I guess, bought a hack copy of Endgame and decided to hold a screening for it, and now people are literally going online and leaking spoilers. So that's the story, guys. Don't spoil the movie. This is something we've been waiting a year to see. Don't spoil the movie. Don't even say make ironic spoilers. We don't want to hear that. We want to watch the movie on our own. I mean, granted, we've had 8 million trailers come out recently. I mean, a lot of them are just clips, but we want to go into the movie with a fresh mind. We don't want to know what's going to happen. We have a good idea what's going to happen, but we don't want to know what's going to happen. So don't spoil the movie for people, guys. That's just being a cunt. That's just I use that word a lot, but in this dialect, it fits. You guys are just being cunts. Don't be cunts. Don't spoil the movie for people. Just keep it to yourselves. Come on. Grow up. Anyways, guys, see you next week. Laters.